what I wish I knew.
Back to Beyond the Bedroom. Thank you for joining me today. And today, y'all, I got a special guest. And it's my first guest too, y'all. And it is my mommy. My lovely
Well,
mother decided that she would join me today after I begged her just a little bit. So my mom is joining me today. I thought this would be a perfect introduction and a shameless plug for my book. Here it is. It is I'm a Grown Woman Now, a pocket guide to self-acceptance and sexual awakening. Get you a copy. It's a nice self-help book. Get you a copy on themilliej.com, or you can shop on Amazon. But if you shop on themilliej.com, I will personally sign your book. And there is also merch that you can get with some of the things that we're talking about here. Because I do believe being a grown woman is not just a statement, it is a whole experience. And you might as well say it with your chest. So get you one of those shirts, all right? But I digress. You know, I can start talking. I brought my mom on because she inspired my book. She has inspired me all of her life. She probably didn't know it, but a lot of things about me is because of my mom. A little background story about my mom. She had me early, so my mom was a teenage mother, and you'll see it in my book if you read it. But my mother was always a mother from day one. My mom has been a mother. She has taken care of me. Not only me, I have a younger sister. She is 4.5 years younger than me. And I love her dearly. That is my sister Eugenia. Hey, Eugenia. And we're my mom's only two kids, but she has been an example for us on how to grow up being strong women and taking care of our children and taking care of life and moving through life in a positive way that makes us feel good about ourselves and society. So, with that being said, I just want to introduce, like I said, my mom again. Say, hey, mom.
hello.
So I did tell my mom that today we can talk about anything she wanted to talk about because I have bored her from talking to me about her sex life. Just because I do sex education, I told her I don't want to hear it. But I'm gonna hear it today. So I bought me a drink just in case. Take a sip now. But anyway, we want to have some real talk about life, love, sexual health, relationships, anything that my mom would like to talk about. It's her show today, y'all. So I'm turning it over to her. So I asked her a few questions to kind of lead into it.
Are you sure you want
Am
to
I
do
sure?
that?
Yeah, I'm sure. You can have the show. You can have whatever you want, mama. So with that being said, one question that I've always kind of wondered, and I would like to ask her, like, Mama, if you can go back and talk to your younger self, what would you say?
Well, to be patient with my thoughts and things that I wanted to do in life. And I should have been taught more to be a young lady about what I should expect in a relationship with a boy. I should have been taught better. And those are some of the things that I regret on there. They poor, but I do not ever regret my kids. So what I
Okay.
thought love was, I was in love, but the other person wasn't, and I thought they were.
Hmm.
So I had mixed love with sex, and I'm sure that a lot of women do. When they have sex, we connect with more than just doing it. Did that
Right.
make sense to
You're
you?
absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And so I'm assuming, because I know my grandmother, she was different when she got older, but I'm assuming she probably really didn't have a conversation with you early on. Is that
No, just don't do it. Don't go and get pregnant. But it wasn't. I'm told that don't let them. You say don't let him kiss you, but how would I feel if he kisses me? Because whatever mom told you
Mhm.
and dad said went out your head when the boy started kissing you and touching on you. So
You're like, ooh.
He just
Yeah,
flew right
yeah,
on out
yeah.
of there.
Right, 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 right. And I guess you kind of grew up in a time where I guess sexual education just wasn't really spoke of in the
No,
household,
they
correct?
they didn't teach it at school or at home.
Mhm.
We knew when people got pregnant, but nobody told us anything to just say. They only say, "Well, you watch out for this person here touching you." Family members, and in
Mhm.
these communities that we have, family members were touching on young girls, and they would tell us to watch out
Mhm.
for them. But that's about all.
But not explain what kind of feelings you can have when you like somebody or getting close to them.
Yeah,
They told you to watch out for sexual predators, but not sexual feelings toward a
not
person
how to,
that you're
not
attracted
how.
to or like.
That's right. Not how to understand what you were going through. And I understand that she probably didn't know either. You know,
Right.
so I'm not
Right.
just saying that.
I remember having a conversation with Mama. That's my grandmother. Rest in peace. I wish that lady was here because that was the funniest lady you would ever meet in your life. And I stand on that. Anyway. But I remember having a conversation with her one time and I was thinking, lady, you grown. How did you not know that? But I had to think about nobody explained that to her growing up. She didn't know what that was about. So she probably thought just being able to tell you don't do it was probably more information than what she got.
Yes, that's what I learned later.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that was pretty deep that when she told me that I just I couldn't fathom the thought of.
Hmm.
And I think back, you had a little conversation with me, but it wasn't an explicit conversation.
Hmm.
It was a little bit more than don't do it. And I know some of the things that you told me came out of the fact that you didn't want me to be a teenage mother either.
Right.
But
Correct.
like I talk about in the book, one of my experiences, one of my good friends got pregnant in sixth grade, and you outside of any other mother around any of our friends, everybody else banished her from being their friends. But you allowed me to stay friends with her, which we remained friends until, unfortunate circumstances, later on
Hmm.
for her. But we remained friends over those years. But you allowed me to still be friends with her, even though she became a mother young. And
Yes.
that is something that I truly appreciate. So there was kind of a double side to that. Because she
Hmm.
got pregnant young, I saw what having sex could
Yes.
lead to and having a child that young. I remember when we turned 17 and we were going to our first day of senior year. She was late going to school because her daughter was going to kindergarten for the first day. I mean, like
Mhm.
let that sink in. And so that was something. That was something.
Yeah. You
But
had a learning experience right there in
I
front of you.
had a learning experience. And like I will say in the book, so if you read it, I started trying to learn everything because you had me young. My friend had her child young. And so because of that, I started like reading all this little stuff behind your back. I don't know if you know it, but you had a book called How to Drive Him Wild. I stole it. I hid under
Uh-huh.
your bed and I would read it because I was like, no, trying to stay up late and watch the HBO after dark, little stuff like that, because I was trying to find out
Hmm.
information because I didn't know anything and I wanted to know so much. And
Go
that's kind of
around.
what kind of led me down this road of how I am and how open I am about talking about sexual activity and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, sought the information, but you still laid the foundation for me, allowing me to
Hmm.
be friends with her and allowing me to know what you went through as a young mother and never hiding that and still being able to just like love on us in a way that we just pass on to our kids the way we love on our kids. All that
Mm-hmm.
comes from you.
Well,
All that
thank
comes
you.
from you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So when did you start understanding yourself as a sexual being?
Hmm. And that's a good question. I think it was when I broke up with your father because we was together in my mind. In his mind, we wasn't together. So after I kind of gave up on that, I started experimenting
Little
more.
daddy slender time. I see. Okay. Okay, you can have it. This your
As
show
I, ga-
today.
as I gave up on that, I started to have other relationships with men. And when I
Hmm.
started to work a job where I was around a lot of men all the time, I got to know them and talk to them more because I learned more then. I put it like that. It was my learning experience. Because
Okay.
with and the only guy I really talked to was your dad. Nobody else tried to because he would block them. Nobody else could really have a relationship with me. But after
He pretty proud of the fact that he would beat up boys behind you when he was young. He
yeah,
was like, nobody
yeah,
talked to her. I didn't play that.
nobody talked to me. That's true.
Yeah, he seems real proud of that. Yes, 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 he does. So when you started being friends with other guys or having conversations about sex, like did you still feel like when you moved on in the relationships were you confusing sex with love or looking for that attention still at that age?
It was more of a tension. It wasn't sex and love. It was just finding that attention from from a male.
Mm-hmm.
It had anything to do with love.
Okay.
Does that explain it to you enough there?
It does explain it to me, and so many times I think that we as women experience those things and don't know how to voice it or say anything about it because there's something missing there. Sometimes I don't even think we know what it is all the time
Yeah.
that we're looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Looking for the attention and I guess some validation
Yes.
for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Some validation for ourselves. And so that's kind of why I wrote the book because working through some things, you can never get that from another person. You have to like search deep
Search
down
it.
inside and start finding out who you are, like, who you need to be and be happy. And the sad thing is I feel like so many times women can go through life years. There's no certain age where you
Hmm.
find that happiness. Ain't no
That's
sense in
correct.
me sitting here lying like, well, by the time you turn 25, you'll know who you are.
No,
Lies. Would you agree?
I agree with that because life is always changing and we have to change with it so that we have a place there. So I'm
Right.
not saying do everything that everybody else is doing. We know wrong from right or what we should do to keep respecting ourselves. And that's the most important part about things. Do you respect who you are? And I learned that, and I also learned how to be alone without anyone in my life. How to be alone with myself. But I would appreciate if I did find a nice man that
Right.
was there for me, and I'll be there for him in a way that's not confusing. That's not uh uh somebody got the strong arm you there. I don't want anything like that because I'm past all that.
Right. Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. Right. And I understand that. I feel like that is so important for somebody to be okay with being with themselves. Like
Hmm.
taking the time. I really feel like nobody's going to ever be perfect. Never.
No, no,
But when you take the time to get to know yourself in a different way, that way
yeah.
you can examine what your needs are. You were able to voice some things about what you need in a partner
Hmm.
just then, just in talking to me. but taking that time to like be by yourself, to take the look and see what your needs are and
Mm-hmm.
how you can benefit from being with someone and what they can bring to your life and also what you can bring for them.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
So that's wonderful that you've gotten that perspective. And I see you said you wouldn't mind finding someone. So yeah, I think she cute. I think she cute. Hit me up. Now I don't want no married men hit me up about my mama. All right. But she cute and she single. Okay. All right. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, you know how silly I can get sometimes.
Okay.
But in that, mom, do you feel like you have really accepted yourself, accepted yourself as a sensual, sexual being where you're happy and satisfied? So when you are with someone, are you able to enjoy being with them? Or do you still hold some of the traumas from past relationships or
Yes, I
past
do.
experiences
Yes,
in
I
your
do.
life?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to expound on that? I'll take a sip now.
Okay. I was married to a person that was married to other women, and I didn't know about it. So that's one experience that it taught me a lot. I learned that was a learning experience for me. What I learned, I had to find out how to be by myself. I had because I questioned myself, how in the world did that happen to me? I should have known better. I should have done this and done that. But things do happen like that to women. And also it happened to men. So I backed up and said, I got to take a look at myself and see what's going on. That's when I started trying to discover who I was and what I was looking for. And even went to, when am I gay or something? I didn't know, but I'm not.
You ain't never told me you thought you was gay, girl.
I didn't
What
know.
happened?
I said something going on with me.
So you
One
thought
of the,
ladies was cute?
no, it wasn't that. I'm
Oh,
just trying to examine myself.
I'm
You
just
told me
trying
to
to say,
talk to you, right?
talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
I even talked to my cousin that I have about it. And she talked to me. She said, "Well, me, I'm bisexual, and I don't mind saying that I am, but I had to find out I'm not like that." So that was some of the
Okay.
things that I I talked about. But after that messed up marriage, I examined myself. I had to examine it. I see you took a drink there.
I'm just here. I'm here. This your show today. This your show.
Okay, so I think I told you enough. Oh, you have another
No,
question
do
for me?
tell. I'm listening.
You have another question for me?
I want you to be able to. I mean, this is a safe space, Mama. This is a
Hmm.
safe space. So, I want you to be able to like fully express yourself because guess what? Some of the things that we're sitting here like chit chatting and talking about, I feel like living in our truth and talking in our truth and you being able to express yourself is probably going to help somebody else.
Hmm.
You know, I'm sure you're not the only woman that has gone through such a situation.
Hmm.
Therefore, I feel that even you saying that, I think that you may help someone out here,
Okay.
you know?
Hmm.
So don't be embarrassed from saying that. I was just a little shocked. I had to take a little sip, 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 sip. But anyway, so what other things that you wish you knew early on or what's going on with you? Or do you feel like you've come into your awakening of self-acceptance and sexual awakening? Are you sure of yourself and who you are? Or do you still have some questions even at this age about yourself, your sexuality, your sexual awakening? Do you have those questions still that may burn?
Now, this about self is, um, I would have pursued my education more. for me to be satisfied. That's some of the most important things to me right now. Is that I should have I should have pushed harder, but at the time it wasn't there for me to grab like that. So I
Okay.
said, well, my most important thing are my children, to work and be at home and raise them. So my children are my future, and I am so proud of both my daughters. I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of
And
both
I'm
my
I'm
daughters.
so sure that my sister Arthur Eugenia James
Mm-hmm.
is very appreciative also. I know that was a shameless plug for my
Because
sister too,
I'm
but
very
she's
proud.
also an author. She writes books, she writes poems, and she's also an author. But yes.
Yes, I'm
And
very proud of both my daughters.
thank you, mommy. Thank you. Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I,
Yes.
I do love that we've had this conversation about just you and getting to know you. And yeah, I found out something new about my mama. Every time you think you know somebody, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Even though you my little friend, I ain't know everything about you. But anyway, I'm so appreciative that you were able to sit down and feel comfortable enough and trust me enough to have a conversation with me about some things because hey, I owe being a grown woman to you and a few other very
Mm-hmm.
strong women in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but you are my example.
Well,
And I
thank you.
appreciate that everything that you have done for us, for our children, and just, keeping our little tiny little family on track together.
Mhm.
So all your hard work does not go unnoticed. Okay?
I'm very proud.
Good, good. So maybe you'll join me again for another episode at some point, and then maybe I don't have to start drinking when we're talking. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I thought I was gonna need a whole bottle, but I didn't. You know. But
Okay.
thank you so much for taking the time to open up and like really talk to me. I love you so much, Mama. You'll never understand. So
I love us
shameless
there.
plug time again. My book, I'm a grown woman now, is now out and available on themilliej.com and also on Amazon for purchase. So get you a copy, y'all. Get you a
Mm.
copy. Thank you so much, Mom.
Okay. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you. So at the end of the day, even though we didn't have an in-depth conversation about sex and sexuality, what I do want people to understand that your life is a journey. Be okay with who you are. Learn yourself along the way. Because at the end of the day, I want everybody to be happy, healthy, and having the best sex life ever. Bye, y'all.